Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 13, text number 21. Karya Karana Kartritve Hetu Prakriti Uchyate Purusha Sukha Dukhanam Bhoktritve Hetur Uchyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on Zoom and also on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining. And today, as we are continuing with chapter number 13, Krishna is going to explain to us why do we suffer and why do we enjoy. Now, mostly people are not interested to know why we enjoy because we love enjoying. But we definitely want to know why do we suffer. That is very, very important. Now this verse, today's verse number 21, Krishna is explaining that this body, material body, it changes because of material nature. And we, bad news, we are the cause of our own sufferings and enjoyments. Normally, when something really good happens, something pleasant, and we are happy, and we give the credit to ourselves. That is because of us, everything is hunky-dory. But as soon as something unpleasant happens in our lives, something miserable, something that makes us sad, we blame God. That it is He, because He's very partial, He's giving me suffering, but my neighbor is enjoying. No. Bhagavad Gita shows us, Krishna is showing us that if one is attached, if one has a lot of material desires, and if one is working on the platform of false ego, there's definitely going to be suffering. But if one is detached, is performing prescribed duty, and also has an inner balance, right? Is not shaky, doesn't get confused what is right, what is wrong, then that person is going to experience lasting joy. Now, from the scriptures, we've heard that there are 8.4 million species of lives, different kinds. And the breakdown is also given to us. It says 900,000 different species are aquatics in the water. 2 million species are non-moving like trees and shrubs, etc. 1.1 million insects and reptiles, 1 million different species of birds, 3 million quadrupeds, and only 400,000 different species of human beings. You see? So we can see that the human form is very, very rare. And all these living entities, all these above creations, they are creations of material nature. Based on our individual desires, based on our actions that we perform, we try to build up karma. And based on our karma, our past actions, we get the next body. Now, based on our past actions, whatever we are experiencing in this life, whether it's happiness or distress, suffering or enjoyment, it is because of our past karma. We cannot blame anybody. We cannot say, so-and-so insulted me, so-and-so is making me miserable. No, those are just situations set up so that we can face our own karma. And it is this body that gets affected, not the spirit soul. You see, unfortunately, we living, especially human beings, we have tendency to lord it over. As soon as we enter the room, we look, who can I order around? Who can I control? So that is our natural tendency, but we forget that the Supreme Lord is the only master. He's the only enjoyer. You see? So because we are struggling to enjoy, and we are struggling very hard to enjoy, so this body is actually the effect of the senses. Senses are only instruments for satisfying our desires. And we've noticed our desires are unlimited, innumerable, because we get so many thoughts in our mind on a daily basis, thousands of them. And many of them turn into desires which later on become very strong desires that we definitely want to fulfill. You see? So, this body and the senses that we have are given to us by material nature. And we've already heard in the beginning of the chapter that this body is made up of material elements. Many times people ask me, why am I born in this family? I don't like this family. Too bad. It is we who decided which body to take, in which family, in which country. This is all based on our own desires, and based on our desires, we perform certain actions. And those actions have led to this apartment that we have. You know, this body can be considered like an apartment on lease. We chose this apartment, so we cannot blame anybody about it. You know, there is in the Bible, there is a sentence, as you sow, so shall you reap. So if I'm going to sow lemon seeds, definitely I cannot expect mangoes to come out. Because I've sown lemon seeds, I'm going to get lemons out of it. So our actions decide which next body we are going to take. Now, this material world, you know, is under the control of material nature, and this body is acting as per the laws of material nature. We don't have any power to change. I cannot change the way I look. I cannot change my body, of course. Plastic surgery is there, but basically, this is what it is, right? We have no power to change. For instance, a dog. A dog must act like a dog, not like a man. And Srila Prabhupada says if one living entity is in the body of a hog, it's going to eat filth. That is law of nature. And all after understanding all this, an intelligent person will think, well, I should make an intelligent choice. There are two choices. One is to get a better body in the next life, which is not a good choice. The second one is to break the cycle of birth and death, to stop coming back into this material world, getting the material body and suffering and enjoying and suffering and enjoying. Because as per Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 and 5, karma is definitely going to work, whether it's good karma or bad karma. Actually, there's no such thing as good karma. Even if you do good actions, it is considered bad karma. Why? Because it brings us back into this material world. And which means we have to again go through the whole cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. But the best part is the Supreme Lord Krishna, he travels with us in each and every body that we take as a super soul. He does not leave us. He's there to keep guiding us. If we are interested in being joyful all the time, He will guide us. He will help us to meet some devotee of the Lord who can teach us, who can show us, who can explain to us, who can guide us on the spiritual path, on the path of Bhakti Yoga. But the choice is ours. We need to choose seriously whether we want to be permanently joyful or we are happy in this material world, because our decisions will decide our next body. Now, in the very next verse, number 22, Krishna says that the living entity in this material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. What are those three modes? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now, this is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. You see, we talked about 8.4 million species. So, based on how we interact with the modes of material nature, if we try to act in the mode of goodness, that will help us to transcend even goodness and come to the mode of pure goodness. And then we would not want to enjoy in this material world with the three modes. We will not try to associate with the material nature, you see, because if we do, then it's going to lead to good and evil in different species, right? Of course, there are many people who do not believe in transmigration, but ignorance is not bliss. The Bhagavad Gita clearly explains to us that there is birth after this death. After this body dies, one is sure to be born again, Krishna tells Arjuna. And those who are born, death is sure. That's why there's a saying, as sure as death. It's definite, you see. So we may believe in transmigration or we may not believe, it does not matter. For instance, I just returned from India, and because I am missing India, I may say, hey, I'm still in India. Who cares? I may say I'm in India, but that is not the truth. That does not change the fact that I'm in Atlanta, right? So it doesn't matter what we think or what we believe in. We got to go with the fact. Bhagavad Gita is giving us all the facts, right? So many people say there is nothing after this life. They may say, they can say, but that is not the truth, right? Because if there is no life after this life, that means it's the end, then a question may arise that when two children are born at the same time in the same hospital on the same day, one is born with a silver spoon while the other one is born in poverty. One is born with a perfect body, whereas the other child is born blind. So is God a fool? No. It is just our actions that are giving us these reactions. So we have placed an order in our previous life to get this body, and we have it. Now an intelligent person will want to make no more orders. I don't want to place any more orders. I just want to break this cycle of birth and death. In chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has told us, Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumara yavanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhiras tatra na muhyati. That the spirit soul continuously passes from boyhood to youth to old age in this body. And similarly, the soul passes on to another body at the time of death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. You see? So the body is changing, but the soul does not change. Changing of body in chapter 2, Krishna explains, is like changing a dress. Vasamsi jinani yatha vihaya. That just as one gives up old and useless dress and takes on a new one, similarly, the soul takes on a new body. So the question is, what causes the change of body at death? Our desires, all the actions that we perform, all the attachments we have in this material body. We like to be in the material body. We want to lord it over here. We are captivated by false identification that I'm this body, I'm not the spirit soul. So there is transmigration, you see. But if we decide to end this cycle of transmigration and put an end to the sufferings, then we need to follow the Bhagavad Gita. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So we need to understand that I am the spirit soul. And to end the cycle of birth and death, Krishna says one has to remember me at the time of death. Sorry, excuse me. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ante kalevaram. Tam tam eveti kanteya sada tad bhava bhavita. That anyone who remembers me at the time of death goes back to the spiritual world, to the Supreme Lord, does not come back in this material world. You see, here in the material world, we get affected by these three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And so we have no idea what will be our next body. It could be animal, bird, insect, reptile, worm, human being. It can be any species. Are we ready to take that risk? Because once we go down below the human form, if we go down in any other species, then we have to go through the whole evolutionary cycle before we come back to the human form again. You see? So Bhagavad Gita is actually giving us knowledge so that we can prepare ourselves, you see, to end this cycle and go to our original home, which is the spiritual world. So for that, we will need to first come to the stage of goodness, give up the mode of passion and ignorance. You see, we need to transcend to the mode of pure goodness. Now, the next chapter, 14, gives us the details. So in the next chapter, we will learn how to transcend these three modes of material. Very important to learn. Otherwise, we will not be able to decide the next body. The more we associate with the different modes, the more we'll get entangled. And the more we'll get entangled, the more it'll be difficult to transcend the three modes, right? So for that, we need to become conscious. You see, right now, most of us are in material consciousness. We are only thinking about the material body. How about becoming conscious of Krishna? Understanding how these desires are developing, understanding what are good desires, what are bad desires, understanding which desires will entangle us and which desire will free us. So when we hear Bhagavad Gita systematically, regularly, then we can understand, oh, I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul. I'm here because of my past karma. Where do I need to go? I need to go back to my original home, which is the spiritual world. How? By following the Bhagavad Gita. You see? So when we hear the Bhagavad Gita, see, hearing is the most powerful sense that we can have. Hearing is very powerful. See, because the sound vibrations from the Bhagavad Gita, whether it is reciting the Sanskrit shlokas or whether reciting the translations or whether hearing what Krishna has to say, this is all powerful sound vibrations, right? And that will help, these sound vibrations will help us to remove the curtain of ignorance. You see, in this material world, we have tried very hard, to dominate others, to dominate material nature, to dominate family, etc., etc. But we've been unsuccessful and so dissatisfied and lamenting most of the time. How many times we meet people and we hear them lament the moment we ask them, "How are you?" That's a wrong question to ask because it's saying putting a foot in the mouth. Because the moment we ask, "How are you?" the lamentation starts. "Oh, this is not good and that is not right. My boss is troubling me, etc., etc., etc." Right? No one is really looking for becoming happy permanently. We want to. Do we want to become happy permanently? Well, then we have to work for it. It doesn't come for free. We need to pay a price. And the price for permanent happiness is determination. We have to have the determination that this is going to be my last material body. I want to understand the Bhagavad Gita so I can get a spiritual body and go back to the spiritual world, because permanent happiness is only over there. We can look for it over here because Krishna says this material world is dukhalayam ashashvatam, which means it's a place of misery and it is temporary. So Bhagavad Gita is giving us knowledge by which we can attain eternal bliss. We want everything eternal. Many times I hear people, like husband saying, "I want my wife forever." Or the wife saying, "I want my husband forever, for eternity." That's not possible. But bliss, eternal bliss, is possible. You see? So from these two verses of today, we can understand that there's no point blaming God, because we are the cause of our own sufferings and enjoyments. Period. It's very, very simple. Krishna is explaining to us in simple language. So it is better for us to stop blaming others. It is because of so and so that I am suffering. This one said this to me. This one did that to me. They are just a via media to give us our karma. When someone is suffering, then it is better to sit down and contemplate, to think. Why? Because of me. I'm the one who has performed certain actions in the past that is giving me reactions. And chapter 3 and 5 of Bhagavad Gita elaborate on karma. Of course, there are different kinds of karma. There is instant karma, there is mass karma, there is delayed karma, there is karma in the form of seed, which is not yet fructified. So karma is very complicated. Arjuna wanted to know, but Krishna says, sorry, the intricacies of karma is very difficult to understand. These are words of Krishna. So instead of trying to figure out, say for instance, I have fallen in the well. Instead of trying to figure out, how did I fall? Did someone push me? Was it some strong breeze? Or did I slip? It doesn't matter. An intelligent person will instead start thinking, how do I come out of this well? How can I get some help to come out? So we human beings, we have fallen into this well of the material world. So Bhagavad Gita is actually a hand that is coming down in the well, telling us, take my hand and I'll pull you out of the well. So the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is like our guru, our spiritual master, who's ready to help us to come out of this well of the material world. So what is the cause of our sufferings and enjoyments according to the two verses today? We are the cause. Very important to understand. The moment we realize this, and the moment we put this into practice every time we are suffering or enjoying, then it'll make it easier for us to face the distress. Then we will not look around, to see who to blame. There was this lady, she was really sick. So she went to the doctor, and the doctor, diagnosed the disease and gave her 3 different medications and said, if you take these medicines, you should be fine very soon. So as soon as she came home, the husband and 2 kids inquired, what is it? What did the doctor say? And she said, well, there are these 3 tablets that I have, 3 different kinds. One is for you, my husband. One is for you, my child. One is for you, you're my second child. Just distributed it. It doesn't help. I am the one who is sick, so I am the one who's supposed to take the medication, not give it to others thinking that they are sick. This is what we do when distress, knocks on the door. We try to blame somebody. Oh, it's you, or maybe it's you, or maybe it's you. No. These 2 verses explain we are the cause of our own sufferings and enjoyments. And Bhagavad Gita is showing us that if we are attached, if there is material attachment, if there are too many material desires, and if one is operating on the mode of false ego, that will lead to suffering and distress. What is the difference between ego and false ego? False ego means I consider myself this body. Real ego means I understand I am the spirit soul and servant of the Supreme Lord. See the difference? So if we operate on the platform of false ego, there's going to be suffering because we will be only on bodily consciousness. But if we take on Bhagavad Gita knowledge and put it into practice, in other words, follow the process given to us by Krishna, then there's going to be detachment. Then, even though we will be in the material world, going to job, taking care of family, etc., etc., but we will be detached. We will not operate on the bodily platform. We will operate on the spiritual platform. And then we will be able to even do our prescribed duties without any problem. And that will lead to balance, inner balance. We will be balanced. We will be equipoised. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Brahmani Ghavi Hastini, Suni Chaiva Swapakicha, Panditaha Sarmadarshinaha. Panditaha means learned person. Samadarshina means seeing everyone with equal vision. That is going to help us experience joy permanently, you see. We cannot change our situation, whatever body we have, whatever senses we have, whatever features we have, what are the color of the body we have, in which country we are, in which family we belong. We cannot change that. But we can change our consciousness. And the best way to come to that stage of consciousness, we need to do mantra meditation. There's no other way. Each yuga, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And the scriptures tell us, Krite yad dhyayato Vishnum Tretayam yajato makeh. Dwapare paricharyanam kalau tad hari kirtanam. We are in Kali Yuga. So, based on the disease, the doctor gives the medication. So, the disease of Kali Yuga has been diagnosed by the supreme doctor, Krishna himself, and he has given us medication. In Satya Yuga, medication was meditating for at least 30,000 years. In Treta Yuga, it was fire sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, elaborate worship in the temples. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. Tad means we get the same benefit like the other yugas by Hari Kirtana, means chanting the holy names of Hari, that is Krishna. See, so for us, the meditation in Kali Yuga is mantra meditation, where we chant the holy names of the Lord. And that is what is going to help us cure the disease. That is going to help us to not get affected by distress or joy. We will be equipoised. So now it is our choice whether we want to do that or we don't want to do that. It's our choice. You see, no one can force us, right? No one can force us to love them. No one can force us to like somebody. It has to come from the heart, and it should be based on knowledge. So, as always, we will chant the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, at least for 10 times. So, please chant with me, and during your free time, please chant as much as you can. So, please chant with me at least 10 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it's very, very simple. So my humble request to you is please chat as much as you can. So I'll end now. If anyone has any questions or comments, you are welcome to ask.